months. Top billing on the program went to the Bridgestone production car brigade with tight competition forecast throughout its 33-car field. Friday's qualifying proved that correct. A tenth of a second separated Audi's Johan Fourie and Nissan's Leroy Poulter at the front of Class A, with a similar gap between Class T leaders Ian Pepper and Garth Verbesky. Toyota's Rio Jaffa led Class B from Paulo de Cunha's Fiat, with Robbie Beninck's City Golf and Mark Silverwood's Ford Fiesta topping Class C.
Johan Fourie, Class A production cars, first pole position for you down here at Kyalami. Absolutely astounding. Tell us about the conditions out there.
Yeah, it was nice and cold yesterday. That's why the times are so fast. I think that's the quickest official time yet dated on for a production car around here, so we're very proud about that. And then just a matter of fact that we sorted out the power problem we had up here in the inland. We just seem to have power at the coast, but we never had power up here in the inland. Even last year I struggled a bit up here. And then after the last race meeting at Westbank, when I got that penalty, and then the 2-second penalty, and then the power just wasn't there. So we struggled. We had a disaster of a weekend. We only managed to get 3 points. So now we've sorted out the problem, and hopefully we can claw back a bit on the points in the lead on Leroy.
On the line and looking to do just that is Johan Fourie on pole position. Let's watch the start. What a phenomenal start there from Johan Fourie and from Michael Steven. And it looks like Stephen Morris trying to get around the outside in that metal paint Subaru. What a good effort from him so far. Up there in 4th place and battling already with 3rd with Leroy Poulter as we see Class T go through. It looks like it's Ian Pepper in the PG Glass Volkswagen GTI as we go on board with Etienne van der Linde.
Etienne van der Linde, the second of the BMWs there, getting a bit of a nudge and off course already. Big wave of the hands, not the way to start your day's racing at Kyalami, but out front, all about that bullet of an Audi, Johan Fourie.
How was that start battle for the line? That Quattro system definitely working up here on the Highveld, and I tell you something, he's going to be a difficult man to beat if that's the kind of start he's got, and he's already starting to put a little bit of a gap on his stablemate there, Michael Steven.
That's van der Linde back up and tracking, but he will not be happy. The surprise of the day so far has been the qualifying of the Subaru of Stevie Morris, absolutely flying out there in 4th place and pushing hard ahead of some of the higher class drivers. Look at Anthony Taylor down there in 6th position.
Now battling with Sean Watson-Smith. Watson-Smith looking for a way past the metal paint Subaru there of Steve Morris. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to get past him just yet as they go through Westbank for the first time. We get a glimpse of on-board shot here, a new shot with the metal paint Subaru of Steve Morris right on top of the roof and coming in through the adrenaline bowl and into Bridgestone now. It's going to be tough stuff for that young man to try and get past the champion of this class, Leroy Poulter.
Taylor is trying to get up there. Taylor, one of the top runners, running it in 2nd place last year's championship. Oh, we're just looking at Heinz Bose, and he's closed the door on one of the minis there, Greg.
Or did he leave the door open? That's the problem as they go through the Bridgestone Bowl. Back to the front of the field, though. It's the Engine Extreme Audi that we're on board with now of Michael Steven as they go through City Bike Bungee and onto the main straight to complete lap 1.
Second of the Subarus, Olivier. That's Pierre Olivier, absolutely flying. He's had a good, consistent year, but he's been outclassed. Look at this. Big contact between Ian Pepper and Garth Verbesky. No one was giving an inch. And the class leader in Class T, Pepper, holds on to the lead.
It looks like Pepper's got one of those buttons that you used to find in kit that you can put it on 2 wheels. Well done there, Ian Pepper. And unfortunately, Verbesky coming off worse for wear because he's under pressure now as we're on board with Robert Volk. Look at that, Graham Nathan side by side as they cross the line with that Castrol Mini. And it's going to be GTIs 1 and 2 as they go through the Universal Sweep.
The talk in the paddocks about Class T has been the fact that the minis have been able to find some astounding pace here at Kyalami.
Yeah, look at that. They're forcing Nathan wide. Here comes Verbesky up the inside of Nathan. And Robert Volk looked as well, but unfortunately Nathan just came through and said, you have to work harder than that. And so is Verbesky. Verbesky holds on only just as he gets a little tap. Door closed now on Bose's car. We go a little bit further back and look at Compton getting it all squiggly as they come out of Lone Hill Shopping Mall corner.
Just coming a little bit wide. We just picked up on Ben Morganroot there coming through, and he's keeping himself ahead of De Cunha. So class battles all the way through here. Remember, we've got all the classes out there in one go, so a hell of a spectacle down here at Kyalami.
Now Ben Morganroot driving for his own dealership there in Ranfontein, and of course Ranfontein panel beaters on the side of that car as well as we head back to the front of the field, and it's the Subaru of Steve Morris who still hasn't found a way past. But look at this, side by side down the Westbank blind shaft, and it's going to be the Subaru who gets through the adrenaline sweep first. But is he going to have enough to get past Leroy Poulter on the brakes? Yes, he is. Look at this, they side by side. He gets a little bit of a gap. Now onto the brakes. Will that Subaru go in front? No, it won't. Sasol 350Z back up the inside as they go through Bridgestone Bowl.
What Stevie did there, he set it up way wide, and he's actually got the drive to come down the inside before he come into the kink. So that is a Subaru, the highest placing so far. Stevie Morris up into 3rd place.
Great bit of driving there. I tell you something, he has turned that team around. He's really got the pace of that Subaru working, and you've got to give it out to the men who put it all together. We got a car going off here. I think that might be Piet Versace in the Volkswagen Golf GTI. He was sitting in about 5th place in Class T, and unfortunately that looks like that might be the end of the day for him. Just trying to pick up his car in the dust there, but you can see how difficult it is. It's the middle of winter. Oh, and speaking of the middle of winter, you don't want to sit with your mouth open there, Mr. Taylor?
Yeah, Taylor's obviously had it coming together. He's popped his bonnet and he'll be just looking through a tiny gap. It is Piet Fusaki. Greg, you were correct there, so problems for the GTI.
Back to the front though, and look at this, up to 2nd place. The Subaru's up to 2nd and goes back to 3rd. Unfortunately not able to keep Michael Stephen at bay there just yet. But look at the pace of this car. They really have put in a great effort to get this car up there running with the factory production car teams in Class A.
Some amazing horsepower and some amazing driving from Stevie Morris, proving that Subarus can do what it has to do on the road as well as at the Rally Championships.
On board with Robert Volk here. This is the Finter Parts Mini Cooper S. A little bit ahead there. You can see, oh, he's gone a little bit wide there. I'm not quite sure. I think he's under some pressure. Yes, indeed. That's why he's gone wide. Nathan says, I'm coming through, and it looks like he's been able to do just that. He's moved up to 3rd place.
So at the front, it is Pepper keeping himself ahead of the first of the minis of Garth Oberski. But look at Stevie Morris on Johan Fourie. Fourie taking a very defensive line when we got to the top of Westbank there, and he's going to be watching his mirrors from now on because that yellow metal paint Subaru is coming on strong.
Back in Class B, still no changes here for the Mazda Zoom Zoom and Ben Morgenroot Autos RX-8. And in Class C, for the first time we see now, it's Trevor Tuck who leads from Robbie Beninka. And in 3rd place, it looks like it's Mark Silverwood in the Oakey Printers Ford Fiesta. Back to Class T though, and this battle has not ended yet. It's going to be another GTI trying to go up the inside of that Castrol Mini, and he makes it stick perfectly. Well done, Graham Nathan.
I'm quite surprised that Woberski left that much room. I don't know whether he's got problems with his car or what, but here's the battle out front, and you can hear the crowd screaming. The battle at the front of the Class A production cars. Stevie Morris pushing very hard. He can smell a win here. He's trying every single line. Look at him. We're on board with Michael Stevens as that Subaru tries every single line. We are on the last lap. It is make or break time.
Yeah, as they go through the Citizen Chicane, heading up towards City Bike, it's going to be tough stuff here. Is Johan Fourie going to be able to hang on? I think he is. I don't know if that Subaru's got enough to get across the line ahead of the ND Transport Audi of Johan Fourie. No, he hasn't. It's going to be Fourie from Morris, but look how close it is between those top 5 cars. They cross the line with less than a second between them. Well done to a great race for the first outing for production cars.
Johan Fourie's Audi, Stephen Morris Subaru and Michael Stevens Audi all crossed the finish line in the same second, with the Golf GTIs of Ian Pepper and Graham Nathan more comfortably spaced in Class T. Ben Morgenroot's Mazda Rotary 1 Class B from Paolo de Cunha's Fiat Styler, while title holder Trevor Tuck topped Class C in his turbo diesel Fiat Grande Pinto.
And it's an amazing spectacle for race 2 in the production cars. Reverse grid and a rolling start for the first time for these guys. Gary Formato on the inside and bringing in all his V8 driving experience. Next to him, Melville Priest and his tight stuff from the gun.
Yeah, nice stuff there for the 350Zs as well. Remember that all the other cars that they're battling with up front there, other than the BMWs, they're a little bit further back, are four-wheel drive. So the four-wheel drive, unfortunately, comes out of play when we're looking at things like this. But look at the battle already between Steve Morris and Sean Watson-Smith. Gives him a little nudge and sends him into the dirt.
Okay,
four-wheel drive is what you need here.
That's right, he's using all his WRX driving skills, and he'll be bitterly disappointed. Stevie was looking to have a good result in race 2 to combine with his strong second place already.
Looks like he might have done some damage to that car. Melville Priest also with a bit of damage, pulling onto the left-hand side as they go through Goodyear now, up towards Legends Clubhouse, into Legends Clubhouse, and it's Gary Formato who's pulling away from the front of the field in that 350Z. He's got Anthony Taylor on his tail and Leroy Poulter, and then a little bit of a battle further back. Some more Quattro action out there as Michael Stephen and Sean Watson-Smith start to go a little wide in the Engine Extreme Audis.
Certainly got a different feel to the race. Very frantic. Remember, with the reverse grid, the top guys are going to be having to push all the way through to get to the front.
Lindenberg's team there now with a little bit of work to do without their top driver. Unfortunately, Morris is out of it as they go through Westbank for the first time. It's the Castrol BMW of Anthony Taylor all over the back as we go on board with his teammate, Etienne van der Linde.
And this is what it's all about. Look at the traffic in front of him. We've got an Audi. We've got one of his teammates there. That's Chop Sapuka. We're looking at the back end of tight stuff all the way through this field. And look at the front there. That is Formato coming under big pressure from the BMW of Taylor.
Yeah, as they come up towards the Citizen Chicane, it's going to be tight stuff here. It's a 350Z sandwich. The Castrol BMW just stuck in the middle there, unfortunately, of those two cars. And right on their tail, it's Johan Fourie looking for an opportunity to get past at any stage. But Formato has got to the front, and when he gets there, he's not an easy man to pass. And he's lacked a bit of wins this year, so he's going to take it if he can.
on board with Garth Waberski in the Class T's, looking at the back end of Heinz Bose. And remember, with the reverse grid, now he has to make his way past and see if he can have another ding-dong battle with Pepper.
The man who has got past in Class B is Riyad Jaffa. He started right at the back of the Class B grid with that reverse grid and has already got to the front, and it's only lap 2, so good driving from Jaffa.
Big sideways action from the Engine Extreme Audis. It looks like it was Sean Watson-Smith pushing a bit too hard there. We go on board with his teammate Michael Stephen, and having a good battle with Davi Oliver in the second of the Subarus, and he's rubbed some serious bodywork hanging off that car.
Yeah, unfortunately, as they came through there, Olivier taking evasive action to try and keep Stephen at bay. Little touch between the two of them, and a little bit of body parts now hanging off the side of that Subaru as they come up to West Bank. Stephen's going to look up the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick this time? Yes, he is. And looks like Chop Sapuka's going to come with him as well. Olivier leaves a little bit more room this time, realizes Chop Sapuka's there. And look at that, Etienne van der Linde up the inside. That was 4 cars in a line going through West Bank. Unbelievable stuff.
And look at the speed coming down the West Bank mine shaft. Absolutely amazing stuff here. And remember, out front, it is still all about Gary Fumato holding off. Here's his teammate Chop Sapuka coming through to join the party.
Now, Chop's had a nice run through the adrenaline sweep and into Bridgestone Bowl, got onto the brakes a little bit later and managed to sneak up the inside. That's second place in Class B. That's Paulo de Cunha. Then we go to Hector North, and as one of the Class T cars, Sean Pike, gets overtaken by Ben Morgenroot. Morgenroot still with 4 cars to get up and ahead of if he wants to take another win in Class B.
That's right, he's battling there, but out front in the Class A Productions things, it's nose to tail for the top 4. And number 4 in that chain is the race leader from race number 1, Johan Ferry, trying to keep it clean and walk away with some good points. And in 5th place down here is Marco de Cunha in the Sam Nissan Racing.
As they get up to West Bank one more time. Oh, a little touch between the BM and the Nissan there. Gary Fumato's not going to be happy about that. But I tell you something, Leroy Poulter and Johan Ferry are very happy because Ferry went wide and Poulter went up the inside, and both of them are going to get past that Castrol BMW. And in 2 corners, it looks like the BM is going to be demoted down to, well, possibly 4th, maybe 3rd if Poulter can hang on to it. No, it's 3rd place. Oh, no, it isn't. Taylor's run a bit wide there, and it's going to give Poulter the whole shot out of that turn. Bridgestone corner, heading up towards the Citizen, and I think we might have a change in 3rd place by the time they go through the Citizen chicane.
The man that really benefited from that move was Johan Ferry, really keeping his eyes open and coming all the way around the outside. Oh, that's Olivier getting way out of shape. Things gone very wrong with that Subaru there.
Yeah, a little bit of work to do for RBS Auto Body. Unfortunately, they've got to go and do some work on that car. As per usual with the Subaru team, there's 2 cars that now have to be sent off to the panel beaters to be sorted out for the next round.
This is the battle at the front of Class C. Tuck and Beninka coming together. Beninka screaming off the track there, bouncing around there. Oh, he's actually ricocheted back on, and he's taken out Taylor.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gary Fumato just got past him, but Taylor had no chance of getting past him. That Golf completely out of control. Beninka had nowhere to go, so did Taylor, and looks like Davi Olivier had to take evasive action as well. So we had 2 Class A competitors taken out by a Class C leader, and that's one of the problems with having the entire field on the circuit. What happens is, as they come in amongst the back markers, they're in their own battle, they're battling for top positions in their own classes, and they didn't see the leaders coming.
What that's done to the front of the classes, we've got Gary Fumato in 1st place, his teammate and championship leader Leroy Poulter in 2nd. Then we've got the 2 Engine Extreme Audis that we've got on shot there of Michael Stevens and Sean Watson-Smith.
And then we go to Chop Sapuka, so it's 2 teams in the top 5. Chop Sapuka up into 5th place now. There's Taylor. He's managed to get back onto the circuit, but I don't think he's going to be finishing up in the top 10 here. He's got a bit of work to do on that very damaged car. Look at Steven getting it sideways under pressure from Sapuka. It's quattro time, baby. Here we go. Foot flat and just make sure you hang on to that car. That's exactly what he's done. Great driving from... Oh, and airtime stuff as well from Michael Stephen. That's a flying Audi if you've ever seen one.
I think Michael Stevens had some serious tyre problems, obviously, at this late stage of the race, and he certainly put on a show for the crowd.
Checker flag comes out, and it's going to be Gary Fumato with another win for the season. Well done to him. And it's a 350Z 1-2.
The Sasol Nissan team was happy. This was Gary Fumato's 1st victory of the season, while the day's results tightened Leroy Poulter's hold on this year's overall production car championship lead. The day's most unusual finishing maneuver belonged to Hector North in his Sasol Toyota, while snatching the final Class B podium place from Paulo de Cunha's Fiat Stylo Abarth. The class victory went to Sasol Toyota driver Riyad Jaffa, while Tianis Ilaf won Class C in his Fiat Grande Punto. We caught up with overall race winner Gary Fumato.
Gary Fumato, the king of the rolling starts down there. Obviously a bit of V8 history coming into play there. You're liking it. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, look, I knew we had a good chance off the line. You know, our car has got good power. We know that all the time. And, you know, where we get beaten is off the line by the four-wheel drives, and obviously didn't have that advantage this time. So managed to get ahead of Melville, and then it was Anthony behind me. Had a good race with him, and I don't know what happened. Everybody seems to fall away, but then I, of course, had Leroy behind me, and as we all know, difficult man to beat. So just to keep on pushing, and yeah, it was good to come over the win. I must say, I asked the Magic 8 Ball yesterday morning, said, am I going to win this race? They said yes, and I don't normally believe those things, but after today, I'm going to have to change my mind, I must say.